Hello and very welcome to my life talk, holistic view of life. Do you want to make a lot of money? Do you want to be able to buy everything you want? I want to talk to you about this question and the secret behind it that no one tells you in your finance course. If you really want to make a lot of money, it is almost inevitable to become an entrepreneur. Given the case that you did not make any extraordinary invention like computers, airplanes, stuff like that. Why do I say this? It is because of the scalability of time. When you are employee, you can work a maximum of 24 hours a day. And you get your salary according to your working hours. Your hours, however, are limited as one day only has 24 hours. Your pay rate may be increased step by step, but it will always be limited, since at some point your employer would lose money by paying you more and more, and that is why your salary will be always limited. There are exceptions, for example, when you participate in the company's profits by getting a bonus or a provision, but here we reach a different kind of employment status that combines both the employee and the entrepreneur. That's why it is inevitable to become an entrepreneur. If it is really desirable to make a lot of money, its pros and cons I will talk about in a different video. Here I will focus on the question how you can make a lot of money in case you want to do so. What now is an entrepreneur? According to Gabler's lexicon of economics, an entrepreneur in a non-legal way is always a natural person that plans an enterprise, successfully founds it and leads it by taking on personal risks or by risking capital. There is no universal definitions of an entrepreneur, and we exclude the legal definitions here. According to my understanding, an entrepreneur is a person that takes initiative, builds something, takes risks, but in return also earns the profit. There are different ways to run a business. One can, for example, create and produce a new product and pursue the human desire to create and innovate, or you just want to make money, or both together. This video puts the focus on the question how to make money. What you always need is, if you want to start a business, is an idea. Even though I would say that is always the people who are at the core of any enterprise, I will focus on the aspect of money today. This aspect is a quantifiable and may even mirror interpersonal dimensions. In the beginning, I spoke about scalability and the limits of earning money, as your working hours and hourly rates are limited. When you hire employees as an entrepreneur, you have on the one hand expenses, and this is always a risk. But you also have the chance to earn more. Why is that? Because the entrepreneur pays the employees less money than he gets out of the employee's work. This idea rests on a social system in which we do not all earn the same amount of money. We invest the same amount of time but get paid differently. Who is more happy in the end is a different question. I want to focus on this particular social system, which is the system of capitalism. You can find this system good or bad, but it remains a fact that we live in this system and that everybody has to find his or her place within it. Personally, I'm not a fan of capitalism, but it exists and it is a part of my life, and thus I have to think about it. I am generally interested in social systems and structures, and therefore I also took a close look at the capitalism, aiming to show you a way how you can climb the ladder far up. I spoke about the scalability of time before. With this, I mean after 24 hours your time is up. You surely know the saying, time is money. If you wish to have more time, you need to get the time of other people. This is the first component, of course. This is not enough, as you do not necessarily make more money by just employing other people, but it is the core of my concept of the entrepreneur. The second component is the value of time. People and their time have a market value. One person can make $20 an hour, the other makes $400 an hour. As hard as this may sound, it is the reality. If you want to make more money, you have to get employees that have a lower time rate as you. I will give you a simple example. Given the fact that you went to university, you finish your studies and your hourly rate, for example, is $40 an hour. When you now clean your home yourself, you are a very expensive cleaner, as your hourly rate is $40 an hour. Instead of cleaning your house yourself, you could hire a cleaner for example, $30 an hour and work yourself in the meantime in your job. Like this, you will have worked the same amount of time but made more money, namely the gap between your pay rate and the cleaner's pay rate. This is an example to show you the scalability of time, respectively the scalability of your income. I call it the price of time. Everybody can take advantage of this principle within his or her profession. Even when your hourly rate as a cleaner, for example, is $30 per hour, you will find someone who does the job for $25 an hour. And just like that, you scale your time and income. What many people do not know or are not aware of the dimension of scalability, most people cannot imagine it. Why is that? It is because of a lack of education. And here I do not refer to our school education where you learn grammar or how to calculate. I mean the different kind of education, the education about life and capitalism. The system that dominates our daily life, wittingly or unwittingly. Most people, I assume 95% of all human beings, work dramatically under their time value, tenfold, 100-fold, even 1,000-fold. Why? Imagine a company is being bought for example 1 million. After acquisition, new people get years, the company will be sold for example 5 million, with a profit of $4 million. For the amount of $4 million, most people would work their entire life, even they don't reach it. The entrepreneur has scaled time and makes a profit of $4 million in just 5 years. Hired who have a lowered time value. Productivity is going to be increased, and after 5, to whom does he own this profit? It is the employees who worked under their value. A statistic from 2020 shows that 1.1% of the world's population own 45.8% of the global wealth, and 55% of the global population only own 1.3% of the global wealth. This distribution is a result of the diverging values of time. I dare to say that everybody who works under an hourly rate of, let's say, $100 dollars works under the real value of what they create. The problem here is the skimming of excess profits by the rich. The reason for our broad acceptance of this can be found in our education system that is still shaped by ideas coined in the old industrial age. Rich people wanted to scale money and they invented school. Today's elementary school are training schools. Children either become builders, office workers or academics. However, all three groups will only become slave workers for the industry. If someone makes $10,000 a month as an academic or $5,000 as a builder, does not make a big difference for the entrepreneur. The difference is only invention to motivate people to choose a more complex and longer education route. The real problem is that there is no one in our education system who teaches us how capitalism really works, and that most people will be turned into slaves. To my point of view, it is not human for anyone to work as an employee on a 100% basis. It is difficult to imagine. However, society and our education system teach us that this is how we should lead our life. On the other hand, it is due to our inheritance law that the distribution of wealth remains incredibly stable. People who inherit a great fortune can start to invest and hire other people even before they start to work themselves, and thereby scale their time and income, whereas someone who does not inherit enough will have to try to increase his or her salary from $30 to $60 per hour for the rest of their life. This video is supposed to shed light on the social and economic conditions we live in and aims to provide truly relevant knowledge. It may open up your eyes and as an employee what your employer thinks of you and what your rights truly are. On the other hand, it can help you to become an entrepreneur yourself or show you how to increase your profit. Maybe you even start to question the way you participate in the oppressive system of capitalism. You may reconsider the way you treat your employees or in order to create a fairer way to distribute money and wealth within your company. It is to be noted here that not all businesses and companies are the same. Small and mid-sized business are again systems that serve the big companies. Furthermore, I want to start the discussion what time really means for you. One often hears that someone is a workaholic when he comes home at 8 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. But we have to be careful here. When you work until 6 p.m. and do the housekeeping afterwards, you are a workaholic all the same. This thought led me to the conclusion that everybody who works 100% is a workaholic if they do the housekeeping by themselves. Seriously, housekeeping, I tested it myself, takes approximately 4 hours a day for a 4-room apartment if you do the daily cleaning yourself. The grocery shopping, the cooking and all administrative obligations like paying bills or taking care of insurances, etc. For a bigger house with a garden, you would have to calculate with 6 hours. With all this work, I wonder where we are supposed to find the time to enjoy life. I think that many problems in our society are a consequence of this workaholic system. Inheritance law predetermines our life and our possibilities from the very beginning. If we should appreciate or oppose to the capitalistic system of today's society, I will talk about in another video. I was happy to have you here and hear you next time.